is scheduled for one fall and is for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Welcome everyone to our pay-per-view event, GTW State of Decay. We are sold out here in Baltimore, Maryland, and we're going to start things off with a huge championship match as the world champion Benjamin Bourne makes his way to the ring. And his sold out crowd is off their butts and on their feet. The screams echoing throughout the entire arena here in Baltimore. Bad boy Benjamin Bourne recently acquiring the World Championship just a couple of months ago, facing Hercules in a steel cage at Dystopia. In our last pay-per-view event, Battle of Champions, he has defeated two other champions to call himself undisputed, as if now he is considered the #1 wrestler in Grand Tour Wrestling. Tonight he'll be defending the championship in our opening match against the chosen one, Steven Dynamite. Dynamite, who is one half of the mixed gender tag team champions and one half of the undisputed tag team champions. After defeating Benjamin Bourne in a sparring match a couple of weeks ago on our weekly show Dystopia, director Charles Elliott saw fit to make Steven Dynamite the #1 contender. Will Dynamite be able to become a two-time world champion here tonight? Or will bad boy Benjamin Bourne successfully defend his title for the first time here tonight, live on pay-per-view? And here he is, folks, the #1 contender for the World Championship. Currently one half of the mixed gender tag team champions. The chosen one, Steven Dynamite, is in the house. The chosen one coming out with his explosive entrance, ready to face the bad boy Benjamin Bourne. And this might be the first stroke of luck Steven Dynamite has had in recent months. With his two best friends, The Witch and Amanda Price, at each other's throats, Steven Dynamite has been taking the week off. And now he's coming here well rested, looking for a title opportunity, looking to call himself two-time champion. Speaking of The Witch and Amanda Price, they will be tonight's main event here at State of Emergency for the Women's Grand Tour Championship in a 3 Stages of Hell match. It'll be for a title, but beneath it all, something much, much more personal between those two. That'll be later tonight, but for now, let's get started with tonight's opening match.
Introducing the challenger from Long Island, New York, weighing in at 210 pounds, one half of the mixed tag team champions, the chosen one, Steven Dynamite. And his opponent, from Green Bay, Wisconsin, weighing in at 241 pounds, the World Heavyweight Champion, Bad Boy Benjamin Bourne!
And here we go. One of the biggest prizes in GTW, the World Championship on the line. And here comes the bell. Benjamin Bourne and Steven Dynamite staring off in the middle of the ring. Dynamite, a former Grand Tour champion. Benjamin Bourne, the current world champion, having a stare-off. And Dynamite attempted to sprint off the ropes. Benjamin Bourne doing his homework, seeing it coming and dodges. Dynamite able to recover immediately with a dragon screw and a flying moonsault, taking down the world champion. And so far, Dynamite, despite that hiccup in the beginning, starting off strong. He's sticking to his strengths, going for those powerful kicks. And Bourne reversing with a hip toss onto the Chosen One. There's Bourne using his knee to drive Dynamite's head right into the ring canvas. And he ducks under the clothesline. Dynamite rolling out of the way, and here he comes. Groin buster by Steven Dynamite. And a lariat takedown. Dynamite using his agility to his advantage against the world champion. And here comes the pin. Dynamite unable to seal the deal. Benjamin Bourne kicking out immediately before even a 1 count very early in tonight's opening title match. Dynamite now against the ropes, the referee bringing him apart. Steven Dynamite springing off again. Benjamin Bourne seeing it coming. It's obvious after their sparring match of a couple weeks ago in Dystopia, the World Heavyweight Champion has done his homework on the challenger here tonight. Dynamite's still coming in strong. He's got Bourne trapped in the corner. He's bringing it to the top turnbuckle, and the high flyer looking to do something dangerous, but Bourne looking for a reversal. Dynamite trying to fight him on it. And look at him just using those elbows to the back of the neck of Benjamin Bourne. And a Frankensteiner off the top rope. What a way to start tonight's pay-per-view event. Dynamite opening with an explosive move. And a Chosen Cutter. Dynamite hits the Chosen Cutter, his signature move, onto Benjamin Bourne. Looks like he was going to go for a German suplex. Benjamin Bourne throwing that elbow, stopping in his tracks. He brings Dynamite off the ropes. And a swinging neckbreaker by the world champion. Benjamin Bourne regaining control of this match as Steven Dynamite rolling out of the ring to gain distance. The world champion in pursuit. And oh my gosh! A devastating blow by Dynamite. Benjamin Bourne falling right into it, and he's been busted wide open. We're so early in this match, and Benjamin Bourne is busted completely open in his opening match. Looks like Dynamite has lost his balance in that barricade there. He got a little too confident there. He saw a little blood, got a little excited. Bourne now taking advantage of Steven Dynamite's mistake. Two men now fighting here at ringside. The front row definitely getting the money's worth right now as these two superstars completely go at it. At the side of the ring, Benjamin Bourne going to the top rope, a flying frog splash outside the ring. Benjamin Bourne completely taking control of this title match now. Here goes the pin. 1. And a big boot by the bad boy Benjamin Bourne. Steven Dynamite completely laid out, barely getting to his feet. Here comes Bourne springing off the top rope, but unable to beat Dynamite in his own game. Oh, and with a devastating big boot, it looks like Dynamite himself has been busted open, and Benjamin Bourne uses the stunner. He hits Steven Dynamite with the stunner. This could be all he needs to retain the title. And here comes the pin. 1, 2, 3, and Benjamin Bourne retains the World Championship against Steven Dynamite.
Here is your winner, and still World Heavyweight Champion, Bad Boy Benjamin Bourne.
It seemed Bourne was in trouble for a little bit for the majority of that match, but he was able to do a quick recovery with a swift big boot, busting Steven Dynamite open. He was able to leverage the match towards his advantage, hit the Bad Boy Stunner, and retain the World Championship against Steven Dynamite here tonight. Not only does he get retribution from losing the sparring match a couple weeks ago, but has once again proved why he's the #1 wrestler in GTW.
The following is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the Women's World Tag Team Championship.
And now we're going to have the women's tag team titles on the line. The Alpha Rangers winning the #1 contender match on Dystopia this week has earned the right to become #1 contenders. They will be the ones facing Les Femmes Fatales here tonight. It's going to be the Luchadors versus the Rangers. The women's tag team titles on the line. And here comes the women's tag team champions, the team of Flamer and Fuego Lopez. Together they form Les Femmes Fatales. These are luchadors from Mexico looking to defend the tag team titles here tonight against Alpha Heart and Alpha Light, representing the Alpha Rangers. And we're going to have a huge high-flying masked match here tonight. All 4 competitors known for their high-flying styles. This is going to be an explosive tag team match for sure.
Introducing the challengers, Alpha Heart and Alpha Light, the Rangers. And their opponents, the Women's World Tag Team Champions, Lopez and Flair. Les Femmes Fatales.
Les Femmes Fatales taking one last look at the women's tag team titles before handing them off to the referee. That's the prize for tonight's tag team match. Looks like we're going to start off with Alpha Heart versus Fuego Lopez as our 2 opening legal women in tonight's tag team title match. And they grapple up Lopez going for a shot to the knee. She comes off the ropes. And a hurricanrana by Fuego Lopez onto Alpha Heart. He brings Alpha Heart to the ropes. Reversal by one half of the Alpha Rangers here. An amazing Alpha Heart using the ropes as leverage, using a tarantula maneuver on Lopez. Immediately, the purple Alpha Heart Ranger thinking on her feet. Lopez with a quick recovery though. She comes off the ropes. Another hurricanrana by one half of the tag team champions. And then Alpha Heart rolling out of the way. You see Alpha Light in the corner looking for that tag. Desperate to get in the ring here. Lopez for the Irish Whip. Reversal by Alpha Heart. And there she goes with those knee shots. Again, going for the tarantula. Trying to use those leverage. Trying to do as much damage to the limbs and torso of Fuego Lopez as possible. A great mind, single eye, both thinking to go for that drop kick. Lopez going over the top rope. And a huge right hand by Lopez. Amazing counter to get out of a tight situation. And she hits Alpha Heart with the leg scissors, followed by a flying moonsault. Alpha Heart desperately trying to crawl to her partner, trying to tag in Alpha Light, trying to get out of this match. She goes off the ropes, shoulder tackle by Alpha Heart. And now an Irish Whip into the Alpha Rangers corner. She's using leverage, pressing down all that pressure onto her neck. An amazing reversal by Lopez, trying to roll her into a pin. Alpha Heart with a reversal of her own. And it's just counter for counter between these two high-flying wrestlers here in the women's tag team division. Missile drop kick by Alpha Heart onto Lopez, now going for the pin. One. And a immediate kick out by Lopez. And let me remind everyone watching tonight that the women's tag team titles are on the line in this match. Alpha Heart goes for the Irish Whip, reversal by Fuego Lopez. And she's going old school here. Hurricanrana right off the top turnbuckle. Amazing agility by one half of the women's tag team champions. Lopez now throwing Alpha Heart into the corner. Huge elbow by Alpha Heart. Alpha Heart delivering a German suplex. Lopez having no choice but to tag in Flamer. Amazing back spring by Alpha Heart, followed by a drop kick. And Alpha Heart is completely on fire here, using that agility she learned from the Alpha Rangers. Flamer coming in with the receipt though, right across the ring with a huge clothesline. Huge high-flying move by Flamer. Now, taking her down with those punches and kicks. Alpha Heart has not once tagged out of this match so far, and I can only imagine how much her stamina is draining. She's got Flamer in the corner. Alpha Heart looks like she's going to go for the tag. No! Flamer with the reversal. And a splash right into the corner. And just look at that, Flamer using those ropes to press down that pressure onto the chest of Alpha Heart. She's been taking quite a beating in this match. Again, has not had a chance to tag out, has not had a chance to take a breather. Both members of Les Famous Fatales have been able to alternate, have been able to take points of rest. Alpha Heart so far has been trapped inside the ring as the legal woman. Alpha Heart went to go take a risk. Looks like it didn't pay off though. She's trying to recover with that drop kick. Amazing reversal by Alpha Heart. And oh, what a German suplex. Flamer's head just bouncing off the ring canvas. And looks like both women are down. Alpha Heart, first one to get to her feet. And looks like she's not taking the opportunity to tag out. Instead, she's going right back onto the offense. And a double stop into the sternum of Flamer. Alpha Heart finally getting her moment to tag out. Alpha Light now being tagged in as the legal woman. Flamer coming off the ropes, and a spear by Alpha Light. The yellow Alpha Ranger now taking advantage in this tag team title match. Let's look at her stomping on the hand, and everyone else. Alpha Light definitely one of the more strategic wrestlers in the Alpha Rangers team. Working on that hand, making it harder for Flamer to execute some of her signature moves. Amazing agility. Alpha Light using full body leverage to go into a reverse DDT. Flamer throwing her over the top rope though. Trying to gain control of this match. Alpha Light barely hanging onto that ring apron. Oh, and now Alpha Light trapped as Flamer driving those elbows right into her spine. Oh, the spine being busted right into the knees. A variation of a code breaker. Nice elbow by Alpha Light, and she's going for a slingshot body slam. And a huge DDT by Alpha Light. Right now, the only champion in the Alpha Rangers is their leader, Alpha Crimson, who holds the GTW United States Championship. He will be defending it against Archangel next week on July 4th at Declaration of Domination, our 4th of July special. The two women of the Alpha Rangers, Alpha Light and Alpha Heart, hoping to bring gold to the faction themselves by becoming the women's tag team champions here tonight. And oh my gosh, Fuego Lopez slamming Alpha Light's shoulder right into the steel ring post. Not just a ring post, but like a reinforced ring post. Not slowing Alpha Light down. She's going for a shoulder buster. Now tagged in her partner, Alpha Heart. They grapple up. And the thing about Las Famous Fatales is they've been tag team champions for a while. They've so far been able to subdue any opponent coming their way. These are veteran luchador wrestlers, and it shows in the ring with their high-flying moves and their ability to work together. And the Alpha Rangers definitely having their work cut out for them here tonight. Lopez going for the pin. 1, 2, and Alpha Heart with the kick out. Alpha Light looked like she was about to go interfere, but completely unnecessary. And oh, Alpha Light with a shot from behind. Looks like they did a little more than to irritate Lopez. Now slamming Hart even harder into the ring. And Lopez going for a kick to the inner thigh there. Brilliant strategic move, moving Alpha Heart into Las Famous Fatales' corner. And she's gained some distance. She goes for a low ball drop kick. However, Alpha Heart moving out of the way. Forward slam by Alpha Heart. Making her way, Alpha Light tagging in her partner. The Rangers alternating. Reversal Irish whip by Fuego Lopez. And looks like Alpha Light just had a burst of energy, if you will. A second wind. She comes, moonsault. With an elbow by Lopez. She saw trouble coming, and Light not allowing her to gain that advantage, trying to reverse her counter, and a huge open hand chop by Alpha Light, followed by another slingshot body slam. goes slamming Lopez's head into the top turnbuckle like a dumbbell. Reverse DDT by Lopez. Huge lariat elbow, and you start seeing the desperation from less famous Fatalis in the match. As the Rangers, especially Alpha Light, able to counter anything Lopez comes at her with. Every time she gains a slight advantage, Light out of nowhere comes up with a reversal, and there's Lopez with a desperate DDT. And a roundhouse kick by Light. More to the point, he seems to be completely on top of things. Definitely the strategist of the Alpha Rangers. Scoop body slam. Alpha Light making her way to the top rope. The Ranger's gonna fly. Will that be enough? She's going for the pin, and there's Flamer breaking up the count. This tag team title match continues. Lopez with a Hurricanrana. Amazing use of the ring ropes. Amazing ring awareness by Lopez, now tagging in Flamer. Light comes in. DDT onto Flamer. Light now making the tag. Alpha Heart being exchanged as the legal woman. Knee drop by Alpha Heart onto Flamer. And now she's going to the top rope. High risk maneuver. Flying moonsault by Alpha Heart. She goes for the pin. One. And no, Lopez breaking up the count, saving the tag team titles once more. Grapple up again. Alpha Heart bring her into the corner. Forward slam. Sorry. Reverse X Factor by Flamer. Oh, by Alpha Heart. She comes in. German suplex. German suplex on the Flamer. And she's making a tag. Here comes Alpha Light. The Rangers rotation as comparison to the first half of this match. Has been phenomenal. Going into the second half into this tag team title match, the Alpha Rangers showing incredible teamwork against less famous Fatales. You can see both members of less famous Fatales, both tag team champions, are showing very desperate maneuvers, very desperate measures, trying to retain the upper hand and retain their tag team titles in this match. There's a spear by Alpha Light. She took her down like a bullet there. Here comes Alpha Light putting Flamer into a tree of woe. And this time Flamer sees the spear coming, rolling Alpha Light into a pin. Immediate kick out by Alpha Light. You can see she still has a lot of gas left in the tank here. And there's a cheap shot by Flamer. Perfectly legal in the tag team match though. And what's Flamer doing here? Right across the ring. Oh! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I think everyone in the arena just felt that one. She just came in like a freight train. Right over the pin. Alpha Heart though making the save. To the midsection by Alpha Light. Got Alpha tagging in Alpha Heart. The Alpha Rangers going for a double team move. Amazing teamwork by the Alpha Rangers. Here comes Hart going for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and we have new tag team champions.
Here are your winners, and the new Women's World Tag Team Champions, Alpha Heart and Alpha Light.
a well-earned victory by the Alpha Rangers, ladies and gentlemen, our new Women's Tag Team Champions. However, coming up next, here on our pay-per-view event, State of Emergency, we're going to be having the Hardcore Championship on the line. Tony D'Angelo won the #1 contender match on Brawl. Coming up next, Sabu, the Hardcore Legend, will be defending his Hardcore title against Tony D'Angelo in a no disqualification match. It's going to be no countouts, no DQs, weapons completely encouraged. Hardcore title match coming up next on State of Emergency, followed by a singles match between Joe Hendry and Castor Black. We also have the Women's Intercontinental title on the line as Amaya will be challenging Haley Webb. And then our two big main events. First, an underground match. Samoa Joe will be defending the Grand Tour title against Jon Moxley. And then our main event, a 3 Stages of Hell match. It's going to be The Witch defending the Women's Grand Tour title against Amanda Price. The first fall will be a steel cage match. The second fall will be false count anywhere. That means it can be pins or submissions anywhere in the arena, not limited to the ring. And if a tiebreaker is needed, if there must be a third round, the championship match will be decided in an ambulance match. You only win by incapacitating, injuring your opponent to the point where they must be trapped inside an ambulance to be sent to the local hospital. That'll be our main event here tonight. But coming up next, the Hardcore title on the line. Sabu versus Tony D'Angelo when we return. Wait, you did what? The medic says I have a first-degree wrist sprain. It's nothing too major, but it will keep me out of the ring for the next 2 weeks. You have to be joking. We have a title defense next week on 4th of July. I know, and I know you had your heart set on Declaration of Domination, but we might have to postpone the match. Oh, heck no. If I back down now, Brenda will rub it in my face forever. Amanda, you're about to take on probably the best wrestler in GTW in a 3 Stages of Hell match tonight. No offense. I'm not medically cleared. Chances are, after tonight, you won't be either. As long as I am cleared, I'm going through with this tag team title match on 4th of July. By yourself? No, relax, Steve. You always manage to find a suitable substitute. I can too. In fact, I think I know just the man for the job. You do? Oh yes, let's just say our mixed tag team titles will be in good hands. It's true. Oh, it's damn true. Welcome back everyone, and it's time for our Hardcore Championship match as Tony D'Angelo is about to challenge Sabu. It's going to be no disqualifications, no countouts, Hardcore title on the line next here on State of Emergency.
The following contest is an Extreme Rules match and is for the Hardcore Championship.
And here comes the challenger for tonight's Hardcore title match, Tony D'Angelo, being accompanied to the ring by Adriana Rizzo. And you gotta be wondering what's going through the mind of Tony D'Angelo going into this Hardcore title match after what went down on Brawl. In the middle of his #1 contender match against the Sandman, Shannon Stacks Lorenzo, his friend, his protege, came out to the ring and betrayed him. He made it like he was out to help him, help the family, and then end up laying Tony D'Angelo out in the middle of the ring, in the middle of the match. Still, despite the betrayal from Channing Stacks Lorenzo, Tony D'Angelo still managed to pick up the win and has earned the right to face Sabu for the hardcore title here tonight. And here he is, folks, the ECW legend, the GTW Hardcore Champion, Sabu, making his way to the ring. This will be his second title defense since winning the Hardcore Championship at WrestleNova months ago. This man has done everything when it comes to the ring of hard knocks. He has felt the blunt edge of every weapon that you can possibly bring into a wrestling ring. He's been thrown through countless tables. He has felt the piercing sting of barbed wire, the cut of glass. This man has been through it all, and he has the scars to prove it. Tony D'Angelo is going to have to pull out every trick in the book he knows if he wants to take the hardcore title away from Sabu here tonight. Oh, I see we got J-Props in the chat here. What up, J-Props?
Introducing the challenger from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 240 pounds, Tony D'Angelo. And his opponent from Mumbai, India, weighing in at 228 pounds, the Hardcore Champion, Sabu.
The entire arena erupting for this ECW legend. The belt that marks him as the most hardcore man in pro wrestling. That's what's on the line here tonight. This ain't just no ordinary championship belt. This is a belt for those willing to go through pain and suffering. And here comes the bell. Tony D'Angelo starting off strong with a kick to the midsection and a knee taking Sabu down. Now, if I were Tony D'Angelo, I would try and keep this match in the ring. I would try and keep Sabu away from as many foreign objects as possible. I would try and keep this as much a standard match as possible. As the moment Sabu gets his hands on some foreign objects, it could be over. And Tony D'Angelo now doing the complete opposite here. He's going to meet Sabu in his bloodlust as he just brought out a bag full of thumbtacks from under the ring. Sabu, though, going for that moonsault. Tony D'Angelo reversing with a code breaker. Here comes a tackle by Tony D'Angelo. Sabu recognized that bag immediately, knew exactly what Tony D'Angelo was going for, and stopped him completely in his tracks. Now dragging him into the ropes. See Adrian Rizzo trying to cheer on D'Angelo. Sabu going for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out by the challenger. DDT by D'Angelo onto Sabu. And now he's marking him up. It comes in, flying knee onto the hardcore champion. He's got it, the crowd cheering him on to do it. And we got thumbtacks all over the middle of the ring now. Sabu's throwing against the ropes. leg scissors. Tony D'Angelo barely missing the thumbtacks. And we see Sabu's already been busted open. And he goes for leg scissors, and oh my god, D'Angelo landing on his thumbtacks. You can see him withering in pain there as they're stuck all over his back, and Sabu about to double it up. The crowd screaming that they want tables here. Oh, and D'Angelo just tossing him like a sack of potatoes. Adriana Rizzo listening to the crowd as she sets a table into the ring. Sabu going for the pin. And a kick out by D'Angelo. You can just see the backs of Sabu and Tony D'Angelo looking like human pin cushions right now. And there he goes, slamming it onto the tacks once again, going for the pin. And Sabu getting the shoulder up. Tony D'Angelo thought for sure that would have been enough to keep Sabu down for a 3 count. Oh, spine buster again, right into those thumbtacks, every move they do. And D'Angelo was so close right there, so close to becoming hardcore champion. There's D'Angelo, those body shots. Suplex onto Sabu. Sabu throwing D'Angelo into the corner. Oh, what a huge chop to the chest. D'Angelo just eating it though. Moxley was going to go for a suplex. Sabu with the reversal. And there's D'Angelo going over the top rope. And this hardcore match now taking its way ringside. Look at Sabu applying the camel clutch. Tony D'Angelo prying his way out of it. Amazing reversal by D'Angelo, trying to stop before it even starts. It wouldn't do Sabu too much good though, other than applying damage, since false count will only count in the ring, despite the hardcore stipulation. And oh, Sabu eyeing that announcer's table right now. D'Angelo bring him on top of the table. D'Angelo bring Sabu on top of the table. Oh, what's Sabu doing? He's got D'Angelo. D'Angelo trying to fight back. And there's Tony D'Angelo using a forward suplex right off the announcer's table there. And why not? We already got 2 bags of thumbtacks in the ring. Let's just add a 3rd one. The ring is now officially the most unsafe place to be. Earlier I said that if D'Angelo was smart, he would keep this match in the ring. I think if D'Angelo is smart, he's going to keep this match out of the ring now. Sabu going under the ring, looking for a front option. He's got a steel chair in hand. D'Angelo ripping it right out of his hand though. And oh, there's Sabu's head being bounced right off the surface of that ring apron, that steel frame holding the ring up. Visual getting a forced sack. The entire ring littered in thumbtacks. Every time someone gets slammed in that ring, they're being pierced by those tacks there. And a kick to the midsection by Sabu onto Tony D'Angelo. And he's coming on the top rope. Leg drop by the hardcore champion Sabu. And here comes the pin. Will this be enough to retain the title? 1, 2. No. Oh, I was so short. I was so sure that Sabu was going to have the match right there. Tony D'Angelo managing to get the shoulder up. Sabu coming in with another flying moonsault. Could it be this time? 1, 2. Again, D'Angelo getting the shoulder up. And this hardcore title match continues. Ring's become a very dangerous place right now. Amazing block by D'Angelo. Headlock takedown by Sabu, followed by a clothesline. And now he's pouring them right onto Tony D'Angelo. Oh, amazing suplex as he rolls into a second one. And he's going for the pin for the hardcore title. And Sabu getting the shoulder up. D'Angelo with a look of disbelief on his face. Sabu, as he gets out of the ring, feels a clothesline from Tony D'Angelo. And Sabu throwing D'Angelo right into the steel stairs. This is definitely not a wrestling match. This is a full-on street fight between these two. And there's D'Angelo with a fisherman suplex. Those tacks are sticking into the back of Sabu, be driven even further in. D'Angelo going in there for it. I wonder what he has planned here. He's got himself a Singapore cane. A kendo stick in hand. And he misses. And Sabu takes it right out of his hands and hits it right across the stomach of Tony D'Angelo. And those ribs gotta be throbbing of pain right now. Sabu getting a table, he's bringing a table into the ring here. Tony D'Angelo intercepting him before he can set it up. And Sabu throwing the elbow right into the head of Tony D'Angelo. Huge open hand chop by D'Angelo. Now coming with the right hand. Sabu fighting back. D'Angelo coming up the ropes. Huge knee to the temple as he now goes for the pin. 1, 2, and Sabu again getting the shoulder up. Spine buster by Tony D'Angelo. Now going for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and we have a new hardcore champion.
Here is your winner, and the new hardcore champion, Tony D'Angelo.
Tell you what, it is definitely got to make up for what happened to him on Brawl. New hardcore champion, not a bad consolation prize for Tony D'Angelo. He just defeated one of the most legendary men in the history of hardcore wrestling. He just defeated Sabu, and now Tony D'Angelo standing tall and proud as the new GTW Hardcore Champion. say his name and he shall appear. Tonight, we all believe in Joe Hendry here as he's about to go one-on-one against Castor Black. A rivalry that has been building up for a couple of months now is finally coming to a head here tonight as the two wrestlers go one-on-one. And you see the entire crowd cheering for Joe Hendry. They all believe in this man right here as he's about to take on the leader of the Wolfpack. And here comes his opponent tonight. The King Castor Black, the leader of his wolf pack. On Dystopia, Joe Hendry had a very lovely poem that he written for Castor Black.
Representing the Wolfpack from Charleston, South Carolina, weighing in at 277 pounds, the King Castor Black.
You know, Castor Black did not take that poem too kindly. Joe Hendry trying to be, a good person and, cheer him up from being down so much. Castor Black not liking being the butt end of a joke, and it led to tonight where they'll be facing each other one-on-one. J-Prop says some of the finest poems are on GTW. Oh yes, it definitely was quite a poem. Joe Hendry has the heart of a poet. And here comes the bell. Joe Hendry, Castor Black, one-on-one here in this sold-out arena here in Baltimore, Maryland. And oh, what a power attack that Castor Black, the referee, knocked out right in the beginning of this matchup. And it seems Castor Black, having no regard for the authority in the ring, all he wants to do is hurt Joe Hendry. And Joe Hendry now taking advantage of his blind rage. Although now Castor Black seemingly still able to overpower him. And here comes the pin. One. Joe Hendry with the reversal. One. And another reversal by Castor Black. One. And Joe Hendry again countering the pin. And there's Castor Black with a kick out. Super kick by the King Castor Black. Joe Hendry coming back with a clothesline. Forward slam by Joe Hendry onto Castor. And grappling up once more, meeting each other in the middle of the squared circle. Castor Black going for an armbar. There he is applying more pressure into the arm lock there. Joe Hendry reversing on Castor Black, applying an arm lock of his own. And look, those ferocious elbows by Castor Black. There's an elbow drop by Joe Hendry. And he comes making his way to the top rope. Here goes Castor going for the pin here. Once again, locking up here. Castor Black brings Joe Hendry into the corner, choking the life out of him. The referee forcing the breakup, and a cheap shot by Castor Black. The referee leaving Castor with a warning. Joe Hendry going for that clothesline. And what a European uppercut by Joe Hendry. This all started a couple of months ago. Castle Black and the Wolfpack had kidnapped. Hold on, wait, what's going on here? Someone's music is playing. It's Scott Storm. Scott Storm is in the ring. Scott Storm just attacked Joe Henry. The referee had his back turned. And Joe Henry taking Scott Storm on. And he just took him out. Scott Storm was attempting to interfere in the match. With Storm now out of the equation, Joe Henry now bringing his focus back on the Castor Black. Castor Black taking advantage of the interference, so taking advantage of the distraction as he's bringing the fight to Joe Henry. As I was saying, this all started 2 months ago when the Wolfpack had kidnapped Alpha Heart, one of the members of the Alpha Rangers, in order to hold a ransom towards their leader, Alpha Crimson, for the U.S. title match. Joe Henry was not a fan of their actions and stepped in to wage a war against Castor Black. What you're seeing here tonight is the culmination of 2 months of back and forth between these two. Headbutt from behind by Castor Black. Huge open hand chop to the bare chest of Joe Henry. And there's a snake eyes onto the top turnbuckle. Castor Black regaining control of his match, now coming down with another headbutt, slamming right into Joe Henry. Henry with a quick kick, trying to think on his feet here, but Castor Black completely overpowering him and takes him down with a huge power slam. Henry fighting back with the clothesline. Castor Black going for a clothesline of his own. Hip toss by Joe Henry. And there's Joe Henry with a spine buster. And he just hit Castor Black with a Samoan drop. Joe Henry looking for the finisher. And here it comes. Joe Henry with a choke slam. And here comes the pin. 1, 2, and Castor Black kicks out, and you see the visible frustration on Joe Henry's face. Joe Henry going for a second choke slam. Castor Black seeing it coming this time and nails him with a super kick. The King, Castor Black, making his way to the top rope. Frog splash by Castor Black, now going for the pin. And it's 1, 2, 3. Castor Black with the win here tonight.
Here is your winner, the King, Castor Black.
Joe Henry had the advantage early on in this match until Scott Storm caused a distraction, even though it failed to attack Joe Henry. Still left him open to Castor Black regaining the advantage. In the end, Joe Henry thought he was going to be able to regain that advantage, but Castor Black, after kicking out, was able to overpower Joe Henry in 1, 2, 3 for the win. We're now halfway through our event right now. We got 3 matches left here on GTW State of Emergency. Our next one, the Women's Intercontinental Championship, will be on the line. We got Haley Webb defending against Amaya. Coming up next here on State of Emergency, live on pay-per-view.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
And here comes the Intercontinental Champion, Haley Webb, who is about to come out to the ring for tonight's title match with a giant bang. Haley Webb, who's been Intercontinental Champion since WrestleNova many months ago, so far has successfully defended the title at least 2 times. This will be her 3rd title defense here tonight against Amaya, who won a #1 contenders match on Brawl this week. Amaya defeating Amaya won the match against Amy Blackwell. However, in the middle of the match, there was interference from Madison Page. We're still trying to figure out what the coordination is between Amy Blackwell and Madison Page. But those are questions to be answered later. Right now, it's Amaya's time to shine for this Intercontinental Championship match. And here comes the challenger tonight, the #1 contender for the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Double Trouble Amaya, making her way to the ring. Definitely not the fan favorite here tonight. You have Ty Arena booing her as she makes her way to the ring, and it looks like she doesn't care one iota. The only thing Amaya wants right now is to strip Haley Webb of her championship belt.
Introducing the challenger from Newark, New Jersey, Amaya! And her opponent from Georgia, the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Haley Webb!
And here we go, the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Haley Webb versus Amaya. And here comes the bell. Haley Webb starting off strong, taking down Amaya. Amaya playing it smart, going for an arm drag takedown. Haley Webb immediately reciprocating with a clothesline, overpowering the challenger here. Amaya not backing down as she swings in with a neck breaker onto the Intercontinental Champion. And a nice fireman's carry by Haley Webb. And Amaya coming in, backbuster onto Haley Webb, and a huge right hand cleaning her clock right there. Amaya coming in with a kick to the ribs, and it's straight up a grounded, dirty fight between these two women. Amaya trying to knock Haley Webb out of the ring, And she falls right in front of our announcer's table. Now I see the challenger, Amaya, in pursuit here at ringside. She comes in, Russian leg sweeper onto the outside floor, and she's just laying in those right hands onto Hayley Webb. Amaya throwing Hayley Webb back in the ring. Title can only change hands from a pin or submission within the ring here. Grapple up. Here comes Hayley Webb attempting a German. Amaya bringing her against the ropes here. And Hayley Webb, the veteran that she is, able to counter her. Goes to throw her against the ropes. Hayley goes under. She goes over. Full momentum here. And she goes to sweep her right off the legs. Hayley Webb now going for the pin. One. And a kick out by Amaya. Hayley Webb again bringing Amaya to the ropes. And this time Amaya throwing Hayley Webb over the top rope. And once again, this championship match taking place here at ringside. Here comes Amaya with those huge shots to the ribs, smashing Hayley Webb's head right into the LED ring post. You can just see just what kind of state Amaya is in right now. Completely vicious, having no regard for Hayley Webb whatsoever as she's using the most vicious attacks on her. Hayley Webb reciprocating as she goes for a bulldog face plant right into the outside floor. Now climbing to the top rope and an atomic elbow drop outside the ring. Amaya rolling out of the way. Goes for a kick to the midsection and throws the Intercontinental Champion back inside the ring. And here comes the challenger. Amaya sizing her up. Hayley Webb caught the leg though. She saw it coming. The Intercontinental Champion doing her homework. And with that roll, she ended up driving both knees into the spine of Amaya there. Amazing ring work by Hayley Webb, the Women's Intercontinental Champion. And still to come after this, we have the Grand Tour Championship on the line between Jon Moxley and Samoa Joe in an underground match. And our main event, The Witch versus Amanda Price in a 3 stages of hell match. The first match will be a steel cage. The second will be a falls count anywhere. And if need be, the tiebreaker will be an ambulance match. The Women's Grand Tour title will be on the line for tonight's main event. Now back to our Intercontinental Championship match. We got Amaya bringing Hayley Webb into the corner. And a huge clothesline as she runs across the ring. Coming in like a freight train there. Hayley Webb with a quick recovery. Goes for a variation of a neck breaker. Landing the skull on the knee. Now making her way to the top rope. And jumping outside the ring with an atomic elbow drop onto Amaya. Nice hurricane by Amaya onto Hayley Webb. A Russian leg sweeper by Hayley Webb there. Going back in the ring. And look at the confidence from our Women's Intercontinental Champion saluting to the crowd here at Baltimore, Maryland. And comes in with a front splash off the top rope outside the ring. That's got to be 10 feet in the air there. (10, 15 feet. Another face plant onto the floor. Hayley Webb taking complete control of this championship match. And now she goes for the pin to retain the title. 1, 2, 3, and Hayley Webb retains the Women's Intercontinental.
here is your winner, and still the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Hayley Webb.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing match. We have 2 more matches to go. We got, coming up next, Joe Hendry versus Jon Moxley. In an underground match, the Grand Tour Championship will be on the line, followed by our main event match, The Witch versus Amanda Price for the Women's Grand Tour Championship in a 3 Stages of Hell match. That's all coming up next. Don't go away. Theo, what are you doing here? I like to say I'm here to watch your match tonight, but I'm actually here to talk. You must be joking. Ever since you left me high and dry, my life has been hell. Amanda set me up and everyone has turned on me, and now you want to come and talk? That right there, sis. Do you know who you... You sound like me. You sound like how I was before WrestleNova. Oh, great, so you're turning against me too. No, actually. I'm here to help you. Now look, you said you did not attack Amanda. Fine, maybe you didn't. But the way you've been acting, you can't be surprised they all think you did. You made yourself an easy mark. You became obsessed with Steven, not love, obsessed. Just like I was with us, just like I was with Amanda. And instead of thinking why they're turning against you, you do things to prove them all right. You are even acting self-destructive, offering your title so you can fight your best friend in a 3 Stages of Hell match. Even if you win, you're going to lose everyone. Please, sis, for the love of everything, please listen to me. Do not make my mistakes. It is not too late for you. Do not fight Amanda. Go out to that ring and apologize. Make peace with her, because if you don't, you're going to end up just like me. Alone. It's too late. They all hate me, Dio. We had our Hell in a Cell match before, because it was the only way for us to move on. I have to do this now, because it's the only way me and Amanda can move on. I'm sorry you came here for nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Grand Tour Championship match. Jon Moxley versus Samoa Joe in an underground match. No ropes to hold them back, no disqualifications, no countouts, and spectators completely surrounding the ring. Jon Moxley, Samoa Joe, coming up now here on our pay-per-view event, State of Emergency.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Grand Prix Championship.
And here comes the challenger, Jon Moxley, looking to be a 2-time Grand Tour champion here tonight by taking on his old rival, Samoa Joe. The ropes for the ring have been removed. We have our VIP spectators, the Lumberjacks, surrounding the ring. This ain't gonna be a match. In the words of Samoa Joe, this is gonna be a fight. Here comes the Grand Tour champion, Samoa Joe, making his way to the ring. These two have a long history of rival, stretching all the way back to their days in the WWE. Jon Moxley going by another name at that time. These two facing off countless times. Promotions like Ring of Honor, AEW. And tonight, the latest installment in the war between these two warriors will be right here at State of Emergency for the Grand Tour title. There you go, the Grand Tour Championship on the line. One of the biggest prizes here in GTW. The greatest belt in the men's division on Brawl.
From Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing 240 pounds, Jon Moxley. And his opponent from Long Beach, California, weighing in at 228 pounds, the Grand Prix champion, the Samoan Joe.
Moxley taking a look at the prize, the Grand Tour Championship on the line. And we're starting things off strong with Samoa Joe using a huge clothesline onto Jon Moxley, now putting him in a camel clutch. The stipulation is you can only win by submission in this match. This is a straight up fight between these two, no pinfalls involved. These two want to sell this title match like men, and they're gonna fight like men right here tonight. Samoa Joe now laying in those heavy boots into the ribs of Jon Moxley. And a huge open hand chop to the back of the head of Moxley there. Samoa Joe taking control of this championship match. And now Jon Moxley throwing Samoa Joe onto the ledge. Samoa jumping out of the ring before Moxley could knock him off himself. Huge shot to the ribs by Samoa Joe. And a huge elbow by Moxley. These two fighting towards the barricade here. And right away, Jon Moxley going for a sleeper hold onto Samoa Joe. Samoa using that size and power to his advantage here. Oh, and Moxley's head being splattered into the LED ring post. His head busted wide open there. Moxley giving Samoa Joe the receipt. This match is about how much punishment one can give to the other. Moxley bringing out a steel wrench. Samoa Joe knocking it right out of his hand. Samoa Joe looked like he was about to send up the powerbomb him onto that barricade. Jon Moxley fighting back. Samoa Joe going for a second one here. And a powerbomb, Jon Moxley's head bouncing off the floor. And an Irish whip. Moxley bringing him into the barricade here, throwing those right hands. Oh, and there's Samoa Joe with a clothesline onto Jon Moxley. Moxley applying more pressure as he lays in those heavy kicks onto Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe now throwing Moxley right into the barricade. With the right hand, Moxley ducks under, gives him a right hand of his own. Ooh. And a variation of a Samoa drop mixed with a backbreaker, bending Jon Moxley in half. Got J-Fox here going, oh snap. Yeah, that comment could not be any truer after that move. Moxley applying the headlock onto Samoa Joe. Joe desperately fighting back with those elbows, trying to break out of the move. And we'll see the Grand Tour Champion getting fired up. Stomping those boots into the chest of Moxley. And a power takedown by the Samoan. That's going to be over 300 pounds of body weight being slammed onto Jon Moxley's ribs. And what a big boot by Samoa Joe. Now going to the ring, bring out a shovel. I can hear him over here yelling, I'm going to dig out your grave. Jon Moxley having something to say about it though. Now setting up for a pile driver. And Samoa Joe's head spiking off the wooden handle of that shovel. Jon Moxley now beating him to death with it. Desperately, Samoa Joe goes for a bear hug, trying to squeeze the life out of Moxley, clapping his ears, getting himself out of the move. No, it looks like he's gonna break his neck. Samoa Joe has nowhere to go. There are no rope breaks. There are no ropes in this match. Samoa Joe has to be very careful not to be placed into those technical submission moves Jon Moxley is so famous for. Brilliant strategy as he's trying to pull the arm out of the socket. And now Moxley reverting to good old-fashioned beat him with a shovel. Samoa Joe now throwing him against the steel stairs, trying to get as much distance from that foreign object as possible. And a huge super kick by Jon Moxley, throwing in an elbow drop to boot. 2 elbow drops. 3 elbow drops by Jon Moxley. You can see how badly he wants that Grand Tour Championship. Samoa Joe winning the title in an 8-man ladder match back in Friday Night All-Star. Moxley believes that he didn't truly earn the championship. This is Samoa Joe's first title defense. And Moxley, after a pile driver, is squaring him up. Samoa Joe catches his leg, stopping his tracks, and oh my god, just throwing his full body weight in the air. And it looks like the Grand Tour Champion Samoa Joe looking for a Boston Crab onto Jon Moxley. Moxley reversing to a pin, but Samoa Joe kicks out. Double hook arm suplex by Jon Moxley. And these two men, only 10 minutes into this match, look like they've been through hell and back. We got blood all over the mat in front of the ring now. Moxley bringing this fight back onto the ring. And those heavy hands by Jon Moxley. We've seen the blood staining the ring mat. Samoa Joe looking for that steel wrench. useless to hit the wrench right into the skull of Jon Moxley. And throws him right off the ring. It's amazing what these two men are willing to do to each other in this match in order to get that gold belt to call himself the Grand Tour champion. What Samoa Joe is willing to do to Moxley to retain the title, what Moxley is willing to do to Samoa Joe to win the title. Huge left hand by Moxley, followed by a super kick. And here he goes for the submission hold, pending Samoa Joe in half here. The referee checking to see if Samoa Joe wants to tap out. Now Moxley sizing him up. So he's ready to go for that finisher. Spike DDT. Sorry, spike suplex by Jon Moxley. And Samoa Joe now throwing Moxley into the announcer table. And a Samoan backbreaker once again by Samoa Joe. Now sizing up Moxley, looking to put this one away. Moxley with a huge counter, kick to the midsection, drop kick by Jon Moxley. And now he's ripping the table apart. Oh man, I got a bad feeling about this. Every time they do this, I keep thinking they're gonna slam someone right in front of me. Moxley, another underhook spike DDT. And a double stomp into the face of Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is bleeding all over. He's losing so much blood right now. He just bit Samoa Joe's hand. That's gotta be the most, well, admittedly the most effective move someone could do in this kind of match. But I can't believe it just shows you just how ruthless, just how violent Moxley is. You can see just how mad that has made Samoa Joe. You gotta be wondering just how bad is Moxley's spine after receiving 3 of those backbreaker moves. Oh, and there's Samoa Joe bouncing off the LED ring post. The two making their way back in the ring. Samoa Joe with the clothesline. And he's going in the ring, bringing out a hockey stick. Oh, in the hockey stick, right into the ribs of Jon Moxley. And I think all that managed to do was wake up the beast. Moxley with the sidewalk slam, and look at him, full of rage, full of adrenaline. All that shot to the ribs did was wake him up. Moxley going outside, bringing in that metal shovel, and now he's giving Samoa Joe the receipt. He's just slamming it over and over into the Grand Tour champion. Samoa Joe trying to just power his way through it. Forward power slam by Samoa Joe. Those heavy hands by the Grand Tour champion. Samoa Joe looking for another weapon, and he's bringing out a wooden acoustic guitar. Nice counter by Moxley. Treating the guitar for bare knuckles there. Headlock takeover. He's got him in the headlock. Will Samoa Joe tap out? No, there's no rope breaks, and he does. Samoa Joe taps out. We have a new Grand Tour champion.
Here is your winner, and the
But Jon Moxley can definitely say in the end, he is 100% earned this championship after that brutal match. Jon Moxley making Samoa Joe tap out in the middle of the ring is now the new GTW champion. And you think that was brutal? Just wait till we come what we got coming up next. Our main event. We have coming up a 3 stages of hell match. The Witch will be defending the Women's Grand Tour Championship against Amanda Price. And what will be not just for the title, but something very personal between these former best friends. The first round will be a steel cage match. The second round will be a falls count anywhere match. That means pinfalls and submissions can count anywhere in the arena, not just limited to the ring. That also means no disqualifications, no countouts, nothing. There must be a clear, decisive fall. And if necessary, if we need a tiebreaker, there's going to be a ambulance match for a third round. This all started a month ago when Amanda Price was attacked in her own locker room by what we believe to be an unknown assailant, putting her in a coma for nearly a month. The Witch taking over as a substitute mixed gender tag team champion alongside Steven Dynamite as Amanda Price recovered. Upon Amanda Price's return, she attacks the Witch in the middle of the ring and claims it was the Witch that attacked her backstage. The Witch claiming that she is innocent and it's Amanda Price setting her up. We right now don't know the whole truth of the situation. What we know is these two women who considered each other sisters are now at each other's throats. Last week on Dystopia, they had a huge heart-to-heart in the middle of the ring, laying all the cards on the table, confessing many truths to each other. And now, they're going to settle things once and for all for tonight's main event. The Witch versus Amanda Price, the Grand Tour Championship for the women's division in 3 stages of hell. Coming right now on our pay-per-view event, State of Emergency.
The following contest is a stages of hell match. It is for the Women's Grand Prix Championship.
Here comes one half of the mixed gender tag team champions, the other half being Steven Dynamite. Amanda Price making her way to the ring for this woman's title opportunity. It was not Amanda Price who challenged the Witch, by the way. For the record, it was the Witch who wanted this match, telling April Cassidy and Charles Elliott to make this main event happen here tonight, that she is willing to put the Women's Grand Tour Championship on the line just for a chance to fight Amanda Price here tonight. That's how much the situation between these two women have escalated, that the Witch herself volunteered to put her belt on the line and specifically requested that this match would be a 3 stages of hell match. And here comes the Women's Grand Tour champion, The Witch. She is believed that everyone she cares about has turned on her. She says that Amanda Price set her up, that she set up the whole ordeal to frame The Witch because she is jealous that The Witch was able to get close to Steven Dynamite. Amanda Price is claiming that there was no setup, that it was The Witch who actually attacked her. Douglas Sebastian, The Witch's father, had confirmed that the coma was real, that the injuries were real, that there really was an attack. So the question is, was it really The Witch? And is she just saying Amanda Price framed her to get out of the situation? Or is there something in this situation we don't know?
Introducing the challenge. One half of the Mixed Tag Team Champions, Amanda Price. And her opponent from Salem, Massachusetts, the Women's Grand Prix Champion, The Witch.
Which taking one final look at the Women's Grand Tour title. The referee showing Amanda Price what the prize is for winning tonight's match. 3 stages of hell. This could go on for 3 rounds. The first round starting inside a steel cage. The Amanda Price with a kick to the midsection to the Witch. These two trapped inside a steel cage, nowhere to go for the first round. The second round will be quite the opposite. With the cage removed, it will become a falls count anywhere match. And if they're a tie between the two, the third round will be an ambulance match. Witch coming in with a springing drop kick onto Amanda Price. Huge kick by Price onto the Witch. Amanda Price, trained by an Olympic gold athlete. The Witch, the daughter of the most famous wrestler in GTW. Both women, multi-time women's champions. And currently both belt holders. And the Witch with a huge leg scissors onto Amanda Price. We got the Witch's high-flying style versus Amanda Price's technical wrestling style. And the Witch coming in with a flying moonsault onto Amanda Price as she's going for the pin. 1. And a kick out by Amanda Price very early on in this match. Amanda Price has a lot of technical wrestling knowledge. However, it does her no good if the Witch is able to constantly dodge and weave and roll around her with that agility of hers. Huge lariat takedown by the Witch, followed by a drop kick to the skull of her opponent, Amanda Price, and the challenger with a code breaker, stopping the Witch in her tracks. Amanda Price answering with a drop kick of her own. And the Witch throwing Amanda Price into the corner. Here goes, slamming her head into the turnbuckle. Huge suplex, throwing Amanda Price across the ring, and I never seen the Witch fight this hard before. 1, 2, and Amanda Price again kicking out. Like I said, I've never seen the Witch fight this hard before. If she keeps this up, there won't be a third round tonight. Grapple up, the Witch setting Amanda Price up, scoop body slam onto the challenger. The last time they faced off was the beginning of this rivalry. Amanda Price gaining the win in a basic singles match between the two. The Witch fighting even harder than she did the last time. This time it could be the Witch's victory. And a huge knee as the Witch comes off the ropes. Amanda Price gaining the advantage in this 3 stages of hell match inside the steel cage. And this is what they were waiting for. No more wrestling between these two. Bare knuckle brawling between these two women. And the Witch with a huge right hand followed by overhand chop. Amanda Price with the receipt. And here goes Amanda fighting back. The Witch coming in, slapping her across the face. And now it's a test of endurance. This is not about winning. These two women are looking to physically inflict pain on each other. And Amanda Price once again kicking out before a 2 count. Which bringing Amanda Price into the corner, bringing her onto the top rope. And a German suplex by Amanda Price. 2 German suplexes, and she's bringing the Witch to Suplex City. And there's that technical knowledge that Amanda Price is known for as she's looking to do damage to the shoulder blade of the Witch. And you can see just how well these two women know each other. These two used to be like sisters. Now Amanda has the Witch off the ropes. Suplex by Amanda Price. And here comes the pin. 1, 2, and the Witch kicks out. The Witch going to sweep the leg of Amanda Price there. And she's making her way to the top of the cage. Moonsault from the Witch. It feels like she hurt herself, but it might pay off. She goes for the pin. And Amanda Price again getting the shoulder up. The Witch again with another flying moonsault. Followed by a shooting star press. She goes on the turnbuckles. Another moonsault onto Amanda Price. And a kick out by Amanda Price, and you see the visible frustration behind the mask on the Witch. A nice roll by Amanda Price. A kick out by the Witch. Main event matches turn out to be, and this is just round 1 in our 3 stages of hell match. The Witch looking to run in like a freight train. Amanda Price throwing the elbow to counter. Snap suplex by Amanda Price, and you can see both women already here on round 1 are already spent. That snap suplex took everything out of Amanda Price. Witch has her against the ropes here, using that rope to wrench the arm of the challenger. And a huge knee by Amanda Price. What a way to counter. And it looks like Amanda Price jumping off the cage with a flying clothesline onto the Witch. Now going for the pin. The Witch kicking out. Have you noticed that neither one of these two women have attempted to escape the cage? Like I said, it seems winning is not their goal, as Amanda Price now applying the ankle lock onto the Witch. She's nowhere near the ropes to get a rope break, but thank goodness able to roll around and kick her off. Now the Witch using the cage as a physical weapon onto the back of Amanda Price. and gets her a shooting star press. And the Witch gets the first fall.
Your winner, the Witch.
The Witch winning the first round in this 3 stages of hell match. We're now moving into round 2. The cage being lifted. The next round will be a Falls Count Anywhere match. If the Witch can win the second round, she'll win the entire match. If Amanda Price gets the win in round 2, we'll be moving on to an ambulance match for our third round. And the Witch starting right off the bat with the Witch's Curse, her finisher move. 1, 2, 3, and the Witch right off the bat wins the match.
Here is your winner, and still the Women's Grand Prix Champion, the Witch.
We never even made it into a third round. Hell, we barely made it into the second round. Right from the beginning of the second round, the Witch uses her finisher move, the Witch's Curse, knocking Amanda Price out, getting a pin right there in the middle of the ring, retaining the Women's Grand Tour Championship. I would say that's an anticlimactic ending, but that was one hell of a steel cage match. Ladies and gentlemen, our next live stream will be on July 4th, our 4th of July special, here on the Infinite Fantasy /Twitch.tv channel. We're going to be having GTW Declaration of Domination. This will have 2 United States Championship matches, one from the men and women's division, and 2 4-person ladder matches in what we'll be calling the Declaration of Domination ladder match. Suspended above the ring will be the Declaration briefcase inside a contract that can be cashed in at any point of whoever wins choosing for any singles championship match within their division. There'll be 1 match for the men's division, 1 match for the women's division. And it is now officially booked our main event. Amanda Price with a substitute tag team partner will be defending the Mixed Tag Team Championship against the Red Faction. That's coming next Saturday for 4th of July. Until then, like, comment, and subscribe on my YouTube page, Infinite Fantasy If. And as always, may your fantasies be infinite.